Just taken delivery of a Morningstar TriStar MPPT. It's a 60 amp version. I'm going to use this to upgrade my solar PV system, which runs off grid. So let's have a look what's in the box. So we've got the installation manual, some stuff about the remote temperature sensor, and a manual in another language, which I won't need. Fairly hefty piece of kit. Right, in the little package here, we've got the remote temperature sensor on that lead, and various other odds and ends which we're going to use to install it onto a wall and set it up. Here's the main unit itself. See, it's got a very big heatsink there. Nice thing about these is they're passive, there's no fan, so that's one less thing to go wrong, and that's one of the things that makes them so reliable. Right, let's get the cover off. So you can now see all the different connectors that we've got. There's plus and minus for the solar input, minus and plus for the battery. We've also got battery sense, that's going to detect the battery voltage on a separate wire so that it's not affected by the current being charged or drawn from the battery. Remote temperature sensor, so the controller knows how warm the battery is. We've also got a couple of serial type inputs which can be used for linking this controller up to other devices, Ethernet, and finally one for a meter which can be mounted on the front of this controller. The important thing we've got to do now though is change the switches in here, because these dictate what mode the controller is going to operate in. Before doing anything else, I just want to show you this other bit I've got, which is the TriStar meter. So this is basically going to replace the front panel and sit there so that I can see the voltage, current, etc., and control some of the settings as well. But that's going to be the last thing to go on after everything else is wired up. One other little job that needed doing was to remove some knockouts. So I've taken out 4 for the solar and battery cables and 1 for the Ethernet cable. I'm going to make some little plastic rims to go around these to prevent the sharp edges damaging any cables. Okay, so I've made my plastic rims there on the knockouts, and I've attached this hook on the back that's going to hold one of the screws, so I now need to line it up onto the board here where I'm going to mount it. You need to leave 6 inches clearance at the top and at the bottom, and 1 inch at the sides. Right, I'll trim that hole out now. So we put 1 screw in. And now this hangs on it. There we go. Won't tighten that up fully yet. Okay, that's all secure on the wall now. We need to start wiring things in. Okay, I've got it all wired in now. You can see I've got a couple of isolators here, one for the battery and one for the solar panels. The wires feed in solar in here and battery in here. I need to do some more upgrading later. I've just used some of the wires I already had, so I've got a thicker one to put in there when I actually get to upgrade the solar panels. And I've got a couple of bus bars here that the inverters and things are going to connect to. And you can see I've wired in the remote temperature sensor, which I already had there, and later on when I add a thicker wire for the battery, I'm going to add the voltage sense for the batteries to the controller. I've got the meter here, so that I've got that plugged in. That just plugs in here, and that's going to sit on the front. So I just need to screw this into place. Okay, here's the moment of truth. It's very important that you turn the battery on before you connect the solar. So I'll connect the battery, so the isolator's on. LEDs cycle through on the unit. Display is telling me it's searching. Okay, it's found one device connected. TriStar MPPT 60, that's correct. Got the serial number there, software and hardware version, and now it thinks it's night time, so I'll turn the solar on now. Okay, and we've immediately got 190 watts or so coming in there. You can see the voltage on the battery has jumped up. It's telling us that it's 16 centigrade outside. 13 amps coming through. So that's all working nicely. I've not earthed any of the system yet, so I'm just setting this up. I've got the earth coming in from the main supply here, and I'm going to connect that up to this bus bar that I've put on the wall, and then the inverter and other components can connect to that. The system negative is going to connect to it through a ground fault protection device, which I've not got yet, so we'll come to that later. So I've earthed this inverter to the bus bar there, and now I've got a cable running over from the earth bus bar, and I'm going to connect this up to the negative bus bar of the solar system. Morningstar advised that until I have a ground fault protection device, that I should just wire the negative to earth. Once I can put the ground fault protection into this line, then the earth can also be connected to the case of the controller, but I can't do that yet because it wouldn't be safe.